We talk about clearly the negative effects that these cases are having on the individuals in the healthcare team. So what do we really do about it? Are there ways to either navigate around these cases or at least to work through them in a way that's going to be supportive for the team?
From a veterinarian's perspective, in teaching the vet students, I like to talk with them about this idea. It's called an IPO framework, where on a continuum, every treatment is going to fall somewhere on this spectrum. At one end of the spectrum is there's no circumstance that will make this treatment a good option. So it's an impermissible treatment. On the other end, there's obligatory treatments. So no matter what the client wants, I'm not going to budge on insisting on these treatments. And then there's this wide range in the middle of treatments that are potentially permissible. So I think for an individual veterinarian, establishing what they think those boundaries are is a way to begin to address those types of requests that veterinarians receive. How to mitigate the impact of being asked to provide futile treatments from a technician's perspective, it's a lot harder because our technicians oftentimes have a very constrained sense of agency. They're not privy to the decision-making process. They're sort of told what to do, and they have their own set of morals and values. And our study quite glaringly demonstrated that technicians are oftentimes asked to act against their conscience in providing certain treatments. And not only are they asked to do that, but they subsequently do that. So I think that as far as ways to mitigate the impact on our technicians is to really try to get them involved in the process, in communication with the clients. In my own personal experience and kind of what led me down this path was I would go into my office, I'd have a difficult conversation with a client, I'd go out and I'd write the order, and I'd explain a little bit of the background to the technicians, and then I'd leave. And then they were faced with carrying out these treatments for hours or days, and they didn't feel like they could raise a concern or an objection. So what I tried to do is move those conversations into the presence of the technicians so that they are privy to them and even potentially inviting them into the conversations. We all have different expertise and can all contribute to the decision-making process in a different way. And that's not just an anecdotal experience. It's bolstered by some research that came out of Colorado State where they looked at involving technicians in conversations with clients, and they ended up having higher compliance from owners. So I think that that's probably the biggest, easiest, lowest hanging fruit to try to mitigate some of these consequences.
I really love that you say that. And it makes a ton of sense. I think that that's definitely instructive for me. And how do I want to communicate with my technicians and make them feel included?